What's up, guys? If you also believe, like me, that DC is head and shoulders above everyone else in the animation department, then you've definitely heard the name Tomorrowverse. After the epic and rather sad ending of the previous shared DC animated movie universe, or the DCAMU, Warner Brothers and DC got busy launching a brand new and fresh storyline with a new animation style and focusing on characters like Jon Stewart and the Justice Society. But here's the problem. Like any shared universe, this world has a specific viewing order that, if not followed, will leave you totally confused about the massive final stories like Crisis on Infinite Earths. Today, we're bringing you a complete and final guide for watching the entire Tomorrowverse step by step, perfectly suitable for a 20-minute video. We're going to discuss what role each film plays in the final puzzle. However, before you watch this universe, you absolutely must have seen the DCAMU because the events that happen here are related to that world. If you don't have the patience, you can at least watch the last film of that universe, which is essential for understanding and grasping the events, especially those in Crisis on Infinite Earths. If you want to watch the entire previous universe in order, I have a video on the correct viewing sequence that has popped up for you right up here. You can click that and check it out. So, let's go analyze this new DC universe once and for all. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Okay, the first title where everything begins is exactly what it should be, the cornerstone. This film is a rebirth for this shared universe. Everything starts here. This movie is considered the starting point and the birth of the Tomorrowverse animated universe. We meet a younger Clark Kent who is still learning and grappling with his dual identity as Superman. The movie beautifully portrays his first conflicts with major cosmic threats like Lobo and then Brainiac. This work establishes the new and very distinct animation style of this universe and has a different tone from the previous DC universe. The film successfully shows how Superman transforms from a local hero into a global and cosmic champion. The presence of Martian Manhunter in this film is also crucial and lays the foundation for the future team. The movie is visually appealing and story-wise a classic superhero origin story. My score for Superman Man of Tomorrow as the starting point of a new universe, 8 out of 10.
Justice Society World War II. Now that we've seen Superman, we need to go to the film that introduces the larger concept of the multiverse for the first time. This animation is one of the most crucial films in the Tomorrowverse because, for the first time, it seriously introduces the concept of parallel worlds, multiverse, into the storyline. The story begins when the Flash, Barry Allen, accidentally and unintentionally travels back in time via the Speed Force and lands during World War II. There, he encounters the Golden Age team of heroes, the Justice Society, led by a very powerful Wonder Woman. This film introduces the Justice Society team, which includes characters like Hawkman, Sentry, and Black Canary. The vital point of the film is its emphasis that this team and this world belong to another Earth in the multiverse, not the past of Superman's Earth. This work not only tells a tale of war and heroism, but also highlights the importance of Barry Allen and his ability to travel between time and realities for the final event, Crisis. Visually, the film is very engaging, and story-wise, it's full of classic, emotional action. My score for Justice Society World War II for excellently expanding the universe and introducing the multiverse, 7 out of 10. Batman The Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. So far we've seen Superman and realized the multiverse exists. Now it's time to delve into the absolute darkness and the world of Batman. These two animations, based on one of the most famous and influential Batman comic book stories by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, are considered the official introduction and establishment of Batman in the Tomorrowverse. The story focuses on Bruce Wayne's early years of crime fighting, where he is still shaping his methods, and Gotham City is on the verge of becoming an utter hell. The film is purely in the neo-noir and detective genre, focusing on solving a serial murder mystery rather than cosmic battles.
Batman, Jim Gordon, and District Attorney Harvey Dent unite to uncover the identity of a killer named Holiday who only commits murders on holidays. These two parts not only tell a very captivating story of Batman's efforts to bring order to the city, but also portray the emergence of the first wave of Gotham's supervillains. We witness the earlier, more serious versions of characters like the Joker, Catwoman, Selina Kyle, and the tragic genesis of Two-Face. This work completely establishes the foundation of Gotham and the dark tone of the city in the Tomorrowverse. Although the story doesn't directly link to the Justice League's main plot, understanding Batman's character and the starting point of his relationship with Selina Kyle is vital for watching the rest of this shared universe. These animations are visually faithful to the comic's unique art style and, story-wise, are a detective masterpiece. My score for Batman: The Long Halloween for its story depth, faithfulness to the source material, and excellent establishment of Batman in this universe, 9.5 out of 10. Green Lantern: Beware My Power. Okay, folks, so far we've seen the two main Earth heroes, Superman and Batman. But to form the Justice League, we need a very important element, the cosmic dimension. The film successfully depicts Jon Stewart's transformation from a confused human into a powerful and committed Green Lantern. During his adventure, he teams up with key characters like Hawkgirl and Green Arrow, which signifies the beginning of the heroes coming together. The vital importance of this film is that it directly addresses the subject of cosmic wars and the concept of the emotional spectrum Lantern Corps, and it provides information about the fate of Hal Jordan and the previous Justice League. This animation, by showcasing massive space conflicts and the universe's expansion beyond Earth, lays the necessary foundation for the formation of the Justice League and prepares the heroes to face much larger threats. The film is full of big action and stunning cosmic visuals. And in this film, Hal Jordan appears as Parallax, which I genuinely didn't like. I felt a character as cool as a major villain was defeated too easily by Jon, and I think this was the film's biggest weakness. My score for Green Lantern: Beware My Power, for the strong introduction of Jon Stewart and the successful expansion of the universe into the cosmic dimension, 7.5 out of 10.
Legion of Superheroes. Now that the universe has expanded, we need to see what the future of this world looks like and meet one of the most important future characters, Supergirl. This animation's main focus is on Supergirl, Kara Zor-El, who struggles to fit in and find her place on Earth, leading her to decide to travel to the 31st century to join the Legion of Superheroes. The main role of this film is to introduce the Supergirl character and show her potential as a future hero, while also expanding the depth and breadth of the Tomorrowverse timeline by showing its future. There, she faces major future threats and the Legion's internal conflicts. But let's be honest, despite all its potential, this film had weaknesses. Unlike previous works in this universe, which had strong narrative focus, Legion of Superheroes conveys a feeling of being rushed. Important story beats and character development, like Kara's relationship with the Legion, progress too quickly. Another weakness is the excessive focus on peripheral aspects of future storylines and neglecting the development of the main Legion characters. Furthermore, the film in some parts lacks the strong, exciting action expected from a space film. Nevertheless, this work accomplishes an important task. It establishes the vital role of Supergirl in major future battles and her importance in the final event, Crisis. Although it's not the best film in this universe, watching it is essential to complete the story puzzle. My score for Legion of Superheroes for Supergirl's development, but its weakness in pacing and developing secondary characters, is 6.5 out of 10. Justice League World War. Okay, folks, it's time to bring all these characters together and form the Dream Team. This movie is supposed to be the moment the Justice League is officially established and to prepare the heroes for the final event. The story begins with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman getting captured on the war planet World War and falling under the yoke of the cosmic dictator, Mongul.
To be honest, this film is the weakest work in this entire animated universe. The film's core idea, which was using simulators to delve into the heroes' pasts and psyches, turned into a massive weakness. A huge portion of the film's time was spent on long, disconnected flashbacks, which not only completely destroyed the main rhythm of the Warworld story, but also made the characters feel alienated and fragmented. Despite the title Justice League, the film has no focus on team chemistry or hero unity until the very last minutes, leaving them as separate pieces in weak side stories. Consequently, the threat of Mongol in the main war ends too quickly and unconvincingly. This work failed to establish a strong independent story and also failed to adequately prepare the team for Crisis. This film simply lost a golden opportunity for an exciting crossover. My score for Justice League Warworld, due to its chaotic narrative, misguided focus on flashbacks, and failure to showcase the unity of the Justice League, 4 out of 10. Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, 2, and 3. After watching all these films and getting to know the heroes, it's time to head to the climax and end of the Tomorrowverse. This trilogy serves as a final exam that challenges everything you know. This trilogy was made not only as the finale of the Tomorrowverse animated universe, but also as an adaptation of one of the most important and influential events in DC Comics history, written by Marv Wolfman. The primary goal of this series is to portray the final battle to save all parallel worlds, the multiverse, from total annihilation by an entity known as the Anti-Monitor. Part 1, by introducing the threat and the beginning of the collapse of the parallel worlds, quickly plunges the audience into the depth of the crisis. We witness the unification of the Tomorrowverse heroes with heroes from other Earths and eras, which elevates the sense of crossover epicness. This section is very successful in creating a sense of hopelessness and the vastness of the danger. The strength of this trilogy lie in creating a sense of grandeur and the enormous scale of the threat. Watching the characters we've gotten to know throughout this universe, like Jon Stewart, Supergirl, Batman, and Superman, alongside nostalgic cameos from older DC animated versions, creates extremely emotional moments for fans. The animation does a good job of trying to show the importance of every hero, even against a cosmic threat.
But as expected, this adaptation faced significant challenges and weaknesses. The biggest issue is the story's compression. The Crisis on Infinite Earths event in the comics was an incredibly complex story featuring hundreds of characters. The attempt to compress this massive volume of story and characters into 3 films, about 4.5 hours, inevitably made many key aspects feel rushed and shallow. Character development in this trilogy is sacrificed for the pace of the plot, and many important characters from other Earths merely act as tools to advance the plot rather than deep characters. Parts 2 and 3, despite the peak of action, sometimes turn into a fast-paced and confusing stream of events that makes it difficult for viewers who haven't read the original comic to fully grasp the details. Crucial moments that should have a deep emotional impact, like the deaths of certain heroes, happen too quickly, not allowing the viewer time to breathe. Also, the handling of the nature of the Anti-Monitor could have been more in-depth. Despite this, the trilogy accomplishes its job as a finale. The Tomorrowverse storyline reaches its conclusion, and this universe ends definitively after an integration. This gives a sense of completeness to the followers of the storyline. The trilogy was a brave and massive effort to adapt a classic, but the complexity of the source material made the job difficult for the animation. The bombshell twist is revealed in Part 3, where it's established that this universe was actually created by the Flash from the DCAU world. He's the one who brought this world into existence. Now, you might be asking yourselves right now, how is that possible? Aren't these 2 universes separate? Well, remember guys, at the end of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which was the final piece of the DCAMU world, we saw the Flash forced to travel through time again to create a new timeline because the entire Earth was pretty much destroyed after the war with Darkseid. Now, in Part 3 of Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, we realized that the Flash actually traveled back in time to Darkseid's childhood and killed him, meaning he prevented Darkseid from ever existing. And because of that action, the Tomorrowverse world was created. Since Darkseid was one of the most important characters in time, the stability of time broke and the event that shouldn't have happened occurred. By making this manipulation, the Flash caused the Anti-Monitor to act to purge the entire universe because the Flash destroyed one of the main pillars of the universe. So ultimately, this world was still connected to the previous world, and a large part of its problems stemmed from the previous world. My score for the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy for the grandeur and the universe's ending, but the compression and rushed pace in character and story development, 7.5 out of 10.
Well, guys, that was the complete and step-by-step guide to the DC Tomorrowverse. As you saw, this animated universe only encompasses 7 main films plus the Crisis trilogy that form a good and relatively acceptable storyline, even though this universe was definitely weaker than the DCAMU in terms of story quality. Now it's your turn. Which film from the Tomorrowverse did you like the most? Do you think the ending of this universe was better than the previous one, the DCAMU? Write it for me in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next DC viewing guide. Until the next review, peace out.